Welcome to News Today with WW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss. Here now the news for November 27, 2019. A new security screening area has just opened at the Transportation and Ticket Center near the Magic Kingdom. We've been monitoring the changes at the Park Hub since initial changes started to take place back in April. Currently, the old security screening area is roped off, and guests are now directed to the new area to the right. One of the biggest improvements we can see right off the bat is the installation of new overhead lighting. This looks a lot better than that grungy garage-style lights that were being used at the old structure. The new structure spans numerous bag check tables and metal detectors, and currently the queues and tables set up are temporary ones, but we expect more permanent infrastructure to be installed soon. Guests without bags, of course, can still head right on in and through a metal detector. Work, meanwhile, is still ongoing on the new tram drop-off structure nearby. Unless they're planning on keeping the structure white and unthemed, we expect the new structure to receive paint to match the overall look of the Transportation and Ticket Center in the near future. The newest character-wrapped bus has arrived at Walt Disney World, and if you don't hurry, it might just turn into a pumpkin. Get it? It's the Cinderella Bus. This royal blue bus features Cinderella in her magic carriage, led by a fleet of royal horses who totally aren't mice or anything, by the way. In the rear of the bus, you see Cinderella peering out of her carriage as she makes her way over to the castle. Over at the Magic Kingdom, Tomorrowland is slowly getting a makeover fit for the 21st century. Sure. The last time Tomorrowland received an update was for the 1994 New Tomorrowland project. The current work being done for the new update is focused on the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover track. The most noticeable work is on the posts that line the People Mover's track above guests. These posts were covered in some of the most distinct accents from the 1994 New Tomorrowland. If you visit the park today, you'll see the supports in various stages of the removal process. Some are completely gone, others are just starting to come down, and posts along the People Mover track have also been stripped bare, only covered with a temporary tarp for the time being. It's unknown when this project will be completed, but we would expect before the opening of Tron Light Cycle Run, which is marking, I guess, the beginning of a new Tomorrowland. Liberty Square Market in the Magic Kingdom closed its small seating area back in July for a refurbishment, and since then we've been tracking the progress, from demolition to brickwork to full-on furnishings. Today, the seating area reopened just in time for the busy Thanksgiving weekend, and we were there to check it out. The area now has a series of low-lying brick walls to enclose and contain the space. Many guests, of course, cut through this area, making their way to the Haunted Mansion or coming the other way to go to Frontierland. And between guests dining and guests zigzagging through, this corner was fairly chaotic. The now enclosed seating area will keep guests safe while they gnaw on turkey legs, which of course are available after 11 a.m. Likewise, you won't have any guests spilling out onto the bustling walkway as they prepare to sit down and eat or leave. You'll also notice that the stroller parking is still located off to the rear corner of the seating area. The 2019 Epcot International Festival of the Holidays, presented by Advent Health, starts this Friday, November 29th, and runs through December 30th. During this spirited festival at Epcot, guests will encounter an international Yuletide extravaganza with holiday kitchens, entertainment, and of course, merchandise. This year's collection will feature our favorite dynamic duo, Chip and Dale. Everyone's beloved mischievous chipmunks are featured on this year's Festive Spirit jersey, a long-sleeve adult t-shirt, and a magic band. Commemorate your visit to this year's festival with a light bulb mug and dated ornament showcasing Chip and Dale's prankster personality. Also looks like Spaceship Earth, which is pretty cool. Dated limited edition pins will also be available celebrating this year's festival, and the Candlelight Processional featuring Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald. Walt Disney World annual pass holders have an opportunity to purchase an exclusive adult tee, limited release pin, and ornament, and they can use their 20% discount on all festival merchandise. While at the festival, pass holders can receive the first ever Chip and Dale magnet set, a complimentary pass holder exclusive available at Mouse Gear. If you're looking for more festival fun, Chip and Dale are on a scavenger hunt collecting ornaments for their Christmas tree, and they need your help. To get started, you can simply purchase Chip and Dale's Christmas Tree Spree map and stickers from select merchandise locations, and once you've spotted all the ornaments, show your completed map for festive surprise. Courtesy, of course, of Chip and Dale. Of course, the festival starts this Friday. We will have complete coverage, reviews of every holiday kitchen, a full look at all the merchandise, and much, much more. So make sure you stay tuned for all that on Friday. Everyone's favorite educational attraction about vegetables has received its annual holiday overlay. This year, Disney is marketing the offering as Living with the Land, Merry and Bright Nights, even keeping the attraction open past 7 p.m. until park close for guests to enjoy the festive fun. You can see a full nighttime ride of the decked out Epcot Classic right here on our YouTube channel. Come February 2020, you can start your day off in space at Space 220. The long-awaited Future World restaurant may have been pushed back to next year, but at least the wait will have been worth it, as it seems guests will have even more options to choose from. Epcot debuted a new park map this week, and reflected within it was a series of changes to the park's infrastructure, layout, and offerings. Upcoming new additions like Space 220 were also included in the listings, along with their updated opening dates. Amidst the excitement of all the new offerings, a small detail was overlooked. Next to the restaurant's name is BLD, which is the key for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which means you'll be able to have, we assume, scrambled eggs in Space 220. Maybe one of the few places where dehydrated eggs, a staple of Disney breakfast, might actually make thematic sense. While this is also to be expected, it appears that the restaurant will also be in the mid to high range as far as pricing goes. Also on the new map, the Regal Eagle Smokehouse, Craft Drafts, and Barbecue is listed under the American Adventure. The opening date listed as December 2019. The Art of Disney will also be relocating to Heritage Manor in December after the Future World location closes in a few days' time. Under the France Pavilion, you have the new Beauty and the Beast Sing-Along listed. The Sing-Along expected to debut alongside Awesome Planet and a number of other new films throughout Epcot with the beginning of the 2020 Festival of the Arts. Another film mentioned, the new Canada Far and Wide in Circle Vision 360 will also debut in January. Speaking of Awesome Planet, new temporary signage for the film has been installed outside the Old Harvest Theater in the Land Pavilion at Epcot ahead of the show's big debut this coming January. So just next month. Basically 3 new attractions at Epcot. Pretty exciting. Meanwhile, the Epcot International Festival of the Arts, which we just mentioned, will return on January 17th of 2020. But today we're showing a first look at the limited edition pins that'll be available to guests come that day. The entire collection is the theme of Figment's Color Company. Figment is now a painter, a pretty cute concept for this particular period where Epcot is mostly under construction. It's cute to think of our little purple friend perhaps helping paint the park. The limited release pin has Figment painting the skyline of the park, including a Spaceship Earth tile background. The pass holder exclusive pin has Figment emerging from a paint can with the Epcot logo icon behind him. And my personal favorite is the paintbrush that reveals the Epcot logo icon. For whatever reason, the collection concludes with a Mickey Mouse pin with his silhouette in multiple colors. It's weird. Usually we'd say when we see that Epcot icon that it's a retro or vintage thing, but that is now back as part of the overhaul of the park. So that's just the Epcot icon again. These pins will be available again starting January 17th while supplies last at the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. On December 4th, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be closing to guests at 4 p.m. ahead of the media event for the grand opening of Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. Only media will have access to the land after this time. The following day on December 5th, 2019, Rise of the Resistance will finally open to the public. Disney's Hollywood Studios will be opening at 8 a.m. that day with no extra magic hours announced yet and closing at 10 p.m. Speaking of extra magic hours and Rise of the Resistance, it appears that attraction will not be available during extra magic hours at Hollywood Studios once it opens next week. Despite the attraction still being on target for that December 5th opening date at Hollywood Studios, operational issues persist and it seems the attraction is unable to operate for extended hours. That being said, until all the operating issues are completely worked out with the ride, it will not be offered as one of the attractions available during extra magic hours. Currently, all of the Galaxy's Edge, including Smuggler's Run, is open during the park's extra magic hours offerings. With the grand opening of Disney's Riviera Resort less than a month away, everyone is sharing in the excitement of the resort that celebrates the European Riviera's design and style. Today, Disney has shared a first look at some of the fashionable new Disney cast costumes created to complement the resort's European Riviera aesthetic. Walt Disney Imagineering partnered with costuming to create a fashion-forward collection that captures the essence of Disney's Riviera Resort. The new costumes were revealed at a special cast member runway-style fashion show held at the yet-to-open hotel. The costume designs were inspired by the landscapes, colors, and art of the European Riviera. The designers also looked to Hollywood stars, artists, and creators, including Walt Disney, who visited the Riviera and reflected their travels in their style. Similar to the design of the resort, apparel pieces have a modern Riviera appeal with classic and current nods. Ensembles are stylish and sophisticated and contemporary to today's Mediterranean Riviera. Some of the design features that are key to the collection are a color palette of Mediterranean blues and whites with bright pops of color, clean silhouettes, modern tailoring, and attention to layers of detail, including crisp piping, art-inspired accents, and themed accessories. Beautiful fabrics and rich details are tailored for cast comfort and take modern-day function into account. There are also customizable costume options, including a mix-and-match collection of pieces for some resort areas that can be restyled for individual flexibility and differentiation. It won't be long before you'll be seeing cast members in these costumes at the Riviera Resort. Let us know which looks you think are the most magnifique. Of course, Riviera Resort is upcoming Walt Disney World Resort and Disney Vacation Club property. It's under construction now, projected to open on December 16th. As we told you a few weeks ago, changes are coming to Snow White's Scary Adventures at Disneyland Park next year. Disney has finally announced some of the vague details as to what will be happening. This classic Fantasyland attraction, Disneyland Park's only ride-through princess attraction, will be updated inside and out next year. Walt Disney Imagineering is reimagining how the classic tale of Snow White lives happily ever after, and guests will be invited to follow along with her story. In addition to experiencing familiar elements of the attraction you know and love, you'll discover enhanced story details in all new scenes. For example, a new vignette will show Snow White in a beautiful forest setting, waking up from her deep sleep. Also, the attraction will conclude when Snow White is reunited with her animal friends and a shimmering castle is seen in the distance. It would appear that this will be replacing the death scene of the witch based off the replacement of the rocks and the characters above in the concept art, but Disney, of course, has made no such confirmation. Imagineers are implementing state-of-the-art audio and visual technology throughout the ride, including new music, LED black lighting, laser projections, and a new animation system. The exterior of the attraction will also be completely refreshed with new fairy tale-inspired details to complement the nearby charming Sleeping Beauty Castle, of course, which went through a major overhaul just this year. This, of course, isn't the first time the attraction has undergone a significant refurbishment. In 1983, as a whole new version of Fantasyland was unveiled, Snow White's Scary Adventures reopened with new technology and a brand new facade, along with a new name. In the early 1990s, several scenes were updated at the Walt Disney World version of the attraction in an attempt to make the attraction less scary for children. One of those things was, in fact, adding Snow White to the ride and a happily ever after finale. The attraction was also renamed at that time Snow White's Adventures. However, the attraction reopened to mixed results. Children were still scared, and so they changed the name back to Snow White's Scary Adventures before ultimately closing that ride in 2012. The attraction still exists in some shape or form at Disneyland, as we just mentioned, but it's also at Disneyland Paris and Tokyo Disneyland. In fact, if you go to Tokyo, it is the most similar to the 1971 version from Florida, and it absolutely ends with guests dying. So it's pretty interesting. Snow White's Scary Adventures will be open through January 6, 2020 before closing for this reimagining. No reopening date has been set just yet. Between the new Pixar Pals parking structure, tram loop, and the opening of the long-anticipated pedestrian bridge, the arrival experience for guests driving to the Disneyland Resort has vastly improved over the past few months. Now a fun new sculpture has been added to the promenade featuring none other than the Maine Mouse himself. The large glossy sphere of Mickey Mouse sits atop a pedestal currently surrounded by fence and scrim. Once the inner area is filled with landscaping, we're sure the fencing will come down for the official reveal. This is, of course, meant to complement the Luxo Ball that is just steps away, which directs guests to the Pixar Pals parking structure. Disney pin collectors and traders, clutch your wallets tight. Disney has shared a look at this month's pin releases for Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort, and it's an incredible lineup of must-haves such as Star Tour's 30th anniversary, can't believe that's 30 years old, and as well celebrating the Riviera Resort's grand opening in just a few days, as well as much, much more. You can see the full list of pins coming out this month at both of those resorts at wdwnt.com. At the Tokyo Disney Resort, they offer a more limited version of extra magic hours than Disneyland or Walt Disney World. Their version is called Happy 15 Entry, which allows entry 15 minutes ahead of park open for general admission to those staying at Disney hotels. When you enter, you can experience 2 headliner attractions and some shopping options ahead of everyone else. And believe it or not, this can be a huge leg up, even though it is only 15 minutes. Some policy changes are coming to the Happy 15 entry program next year that you may want to note. Currently, guests staying at all 4 Disney hotels, the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel, Hotel Miracosta, the Disney Ambassador Hotel, and the Tokyo Disney Celebration Hotel, are able to take advantage of Happy 15 entry at both theme parks after their first night. Additionally, guests staying at Hotel Miracosta and the Disney Ambassador Hotel can enter Tokyo Disney Sea typically on their check-in day. Well, some of that's changing come June 1st, 2020. From that day on, guests at Hotel Miracosta will no longer be allowed to enter Disney Sea early on check-in day. The benefit will remain in place for Disney Ambassador Hotel guests, however. Weird. Additionally, guests at the Tokyo Disney Celebration Hotel will no longer be able to use Happy 15 entry at Tokyo Disney Sea at all. Happy 15 entry will only be available to them at Tokyo Disneyland. Keep in mind, guests are given a mere 15 minutes, which allows you again to experience one of 2 attractions, but makes a big difference. This is weird because Hotel Miracosta is way more expensive than the Ambassador, so why Ambassador's still getting that access, I don't understand. The Celebration Hotel, considerably cheaper than all the other ones, so I do kind of understand that, but weird changes. I don't know if it's related to the Olympics. Of course, the Olympics are coming to Japan. They're expecting big crowds. We'll see how this all pans out. Sticking at Tokyo Disneyland, the Cinderella Castle refurbishment is underway at the park. For this 6-month-long refurbishment, the spire has indeed been removed. That's right, you can see in the photos, it is gone. The officially scheduled end date for the refurbishment is April 7th, 2020, with the shops and Cinderella's Fairy Tale Hall reopening on April 8th. In the past couple of weeks, the scaffolding has come down around the future Minnie's Style Studio greeting area. The cartoony Art Deco style building will blend right into Toontown when it opens on April 15th as part of the giant expansion of the Fantasyland area of the park. Meanwhile, scaffolding has been coming down around Belle's Village as well, allowing a better glimpse of the exteriors coming to the restaurants and shops in this area. The scaffolding also is coming down on the Beast Castle, home to the much anticipated new attraction, The Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. We can see the very tip of the castle emerging into the skies now, and the rest of the structure is rapidly developing. If you look closely on the left, one of the lower towers looks nearly complete as well. Of course, we are going to be, I know we're a couple months away, but we're already booked. We're going to be there for the grand opening of all this new stuff at Tokyo Disneyland in April. So make sure you stay tuned for that coverage. I know the world, including myself, cannot wait to see that Beauty and the Beast ride. It's going to be something very, very special. In just a few weeks, guests at Disneyland Paris can experience big screen adventure in real life when 2 unmissable celebrations arrive, the Frozen Celebration and Legends of the Force, a celebration of Star Wars. The return of Legends of the Force from January 11th to March 15th is a chance for Star Wars fans of all ages to immerse themselves in a galaxy far, far away, just a few days after the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, including a new sequence from the film added to Star Tours: The Adventures Continue. Guests will experience 2 thrilling shows. Legends of a Galaxy Far, Far Away will take guests on a journey through the biggest moments of the Star Wars saga, while Star Wars: A Galactic Celebration is a homage to the Star Wars galaxy at nightfall with projections, special effects, and heroes from the saga. There will also be an opportunity to meet your favorite heroes and villains, including Rey, Chewbacca, and Kylo Ren, as well as the March of the First Order with Captain Phasma and First Order Stormtroopers. With the premiere of the first ever Frozen celebration from January 11th to May 3rd, guests can enjoy this global phenomenon like never before. In addition to the new Frozen: A Musical Invitation show, which recently opened at the Animation Celebration in Walt Disney Studios Park, which you can watch the full video of right here on our channel, fans will spot a brand new float inspired by Frozen 2. Soon to be the tallest float at Disneyland Paris, it will feature the silhouette of the mysterious Nock, as well as Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Kristoff, Sven, and the dazzling dancers, accompanied by new music from the film. Every night, guests can spot their favorite Frozen characters during the Disney Illumination show, and on select nights, January 24th, 27th, and 29th, guests can end the day in spectacular fashion with Magic over Lake Disney, the Frozen edition, and relive amazing iconic scenes from both films. During both celebrations, guests will discover unique merchandise collections and playful treats themed to iconic elements from Frozen and Star Wars inside the parks, at Disney Village, and in Disney hotel shops. A little bit of housekeeping to do here at the end of the show. I know we talked about it last show, but the audio was all broken, and a lot of people didn't watch the show because of that. So I'll mention it again today. In case you don't know, every year since 2008, we here at WDW News Today have hosted a charity drive at the end of November to raise money for the Toys for Tots Foundation. To date, we've raised almost $50,000 for this amazing organization with donations through our website and those made during our annual live program during the holiday season. This year, we're once again asking you to be part of this holiday tradition where we continue Walt Disney's dream and try to make a difference in the lives of those less fortunate. Over 60 years ago, Walt Disney became one of the original sponsors of the Toys for Tots Foundation, which ensures that every underprivileged child receives a toy during the holiday season. Walt and his animators personally designed the original Toys for Tots train logo that is still used today, and they created the first poster, created for Toys for Tots. In this spirit, we here at wdwnt are putting on a 50-hour live broadcast to raise money for the organization. We hope you'll join us beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern on Friday, November 29th, 2019, when the broadcast begins, and you'll help us by making a donation to this great cause at toys.wdwnt.com. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the 50 hours of this show. It's kicking off with WDW News Tonight, which isn't on Thursday because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Give our employees off on Thanksgiving, and myself for that matter. So we're going to kick off with News Tonight at 9 p.m. on Friday. We have a watch-along of Episode 4 of the Imagineering story, which gets released that day. Cooking with Nick, he's going to be making the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge cookbook, a couple items from there. On Sunday, we have Back to the Future Live, a comprehensive, and I mean super comprehensive look at the 25-year history of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror around the world, from Orlando to Anaheim to Paris to Tokyo. We're going to talk about all of them. We've got some great archival footage we found. We have some really great photos and a lot of history. We've got great shows like Park Center Around the Hub, our first all-female show, The Muses, the Movie Club, some new programming. It's going to be a crazy 50 hours. It's always a lot of fun. You can watch it right here on YouTube. You can watch it at wdwnttunes.com. There's also an audio-only feed if you're on the go. And he likes to fall down whenever I talk about this charity show. He did this on the last show too. But nonetheless, it's going to be an incredible 50 hours. It's my favorite thing we get to do each and every year. And you guys always come in and save the day, go above and beyond, and we always end up breaking that total that we've raised for Toys for Tots each and every year. The goal this year is over $8,000. So please join us. If you enjoy what we do for free, whether it's this show, you read the site all the time, whatever it may be, we don't ask that you give us money. We ask that you come in and help us raise money for this great charity this weekend. So again, join us starting Friday through Sunday, 50 straight hours. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to wdwnt.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful Thanksgiving. Goodbye from me and this soldier who just wants to fall over all the time. Goodbye, everybody.